We should be live now. Just let me put my matrix on. And in this live stream, we're going to look into the new moon into Aquarius. So before we jump into the whole thing where I'm going to read for the star signs, let me just tell you how the live stream is going to move forward for everybody new who is going to watch this. Or either is going to be here on the live stream or they're going to watch it on a video. So within this within this stream, I'm going to perform a 12 readings for the 12 star signs. I'm going to draw 5 cards per star sign, and on every 4 star signs there is going to be a break announced, and within this break, hello Mattia, welcome to the stream, and within this break I'm gonna give you I'm gonna gift to one of you a free reading. All you gotta do is just input a question, and I'm gonna pick after 5 minutes or so the question that I'm drawn to, so to speak, and I'm gonna take it from there. Of course, everybody who supports the stream, what we do here through Super Chat, is going to get their reading at the end of the live stream regardless. And as well, if you do wish your own personal reading, you can always go to my website, which you're going to find in the description down below. And there at the very front page, you're going to see a full list of my services, and also I'm sorry, my voice is a little bit off today. And also their pricing, so based on your budget and as well your needs, you can go for whichever service suits you best. Mattia, thank you so much for your $5 support. Thank you so much, Mattia. As usual, let me put you into the list, and at the end of the live stream, you will get your personalized reading for the new moon into Aquarius. Hey, Dreamy. So let me shuffle and handle something. Right, so let me shuffle, guys, and we're gonna jump to the first star sign, which is going to be Aries. The star signs are going to be read in order from Aries all the way up to Pisces. All right, so the first card for Aries, that is going to be the Ace of Wands, followed by the second card here. Hold on a second. So followed by the second card of the Four of Wands. Moving next, we do have the Fool card. The fourth card for you, Aries, this is going to be the World. And the final card for you guys, that is going to be the Nine of Pentacles. So we do have these 5 cards for Aries. And that is definitely going to be a transit for you, lunar cycle for you, Aries, where you are to experiment and as well experience many new things as enterprises. Many of them are going to be quite gainingful and very, very new. What I mean, it is that is going to be quite of a refreshing transit for you. On the negative side of it, there will be much left unfinished, and that probably is going to be one of the reasons why you would want to just, get yourself occupied with something different, get yourself refreshed with some kind of a different stuff. No different than being in a stall in a current relationship and just wanting to spend your time with different people, not necessarily with a romantic incentive. Okay, but alongside your experiences throughout these couple of weeks or the next couple of weeks, you're also going to learn a great deal of insight, so to speak, that if the time isn't right for certain things, enterprises, or endeavors to wrap themselves around, no matter how much you try to close the deal, so to speak, you won't be able to, for it's not its time at this particular moment. And should one thing not be finished or finalized, that should not stop you as well of seeking even further progress into areas in your life that have been unexplored. And as an individual, you do have infinite, or rather, like, as an individual, we do have infinite options available to explore for us as a career, as a romantic potentials, as a friendships as well. So for you, Aries, this transit, it's about a versatility and variety, and to find that variety, or rather, like, to make up that variety within your career and as well within your romantic life. And therefore you can expect to attract a lot of attention. You can expect to provoke interest into different people around. Some of them are going to be with a business incentive, others are going to be with a friendship incentives, there are going to be those with a romantic incentive as well, and always going to depend on how you do play out your cards with all these people. And on top of it, that is also true for a opportunity, so you're gonna have your fair share of those. Something more on practical level, so to speak, it is that within the next couple of weeks, you may kind of like decide to develop some kind of a skill or a knowledge of yourself. Like, for example, you may decide, I don't know why I'm thinking of it, but you may decide to start learning math, for example, or to start becoming an apprentice of a blacksmith, and it's just some kind of a skill that you have not developed by that point. Ultimately, though, it seems that whatever you do, or kind of like whatever you are to start manifesting throughout the next couple of weeks, is going to serve you a great deal of potential for your future. And therefore, you should not try to kind of like, how can I put it into words? You should not opt for sticking with a certain plan, but just, go with the flow. And that way, you are going to have the most experience out of the next couple of weeks. For next star sign, which is Taurus, let me shuffle the cards for it, guys. For Taurus, the first card is going to be the Two of Pentacles, followed by the second card of the Judgment. And that kind of, I think, overlaps with the forecast I gave for the week a day ago or a night ago. Moving next, we do have the Nine of Pentacles, followed by the Hierophant. I'm sorry, it's not the Hermit, it is the Hierophant. And the last one, that is going to be the Lovers. Okay, so these 5 cards. And for you, Taurus, the next couple of weeks, as far as the moon is concerned, they're going to be rather quite peaceful and as well harmonious. But alongside with it, a bit unimportant, or what I'm trying to say is that major events that kind of like make difference, are not gonna set within these couple of weeks, and that doesn't necessarily will be of your impression. What I mean is that there may be an events that you may think are decisive, but they, at least according to these cards, these events are not gonna play kind of like a major role in regards to your grand scheme of the future. um to give you an example of it, say that the worst it is to happen, and you happen to be left alone into your romantic life, meaning that wherever you do have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and they break up with you, all right, and you may think that that is such a relevant event, that this event kind of makes difference, but it doesn't in the grand scheme of things. And the scheme is that you are, at the end of the day, end up being loved or being happy with somebody. So within the next couple of weeks, you should just, you know, enjoy your time, and things that are set to happen within these couple of weeks, just don't give too much of a credit to them, or rather like don't give too much of an importance to them. For even if there are things to where you are to be, how can I put it into words, relinquished or forlorn, these aspects are to be replaced with I can't say better aspects, I can say more faithful aspects per the cards I'm holding within my hand. So let's talk about on a practical level now. The next couple of weeks are going to be, as far as the moon is concerned, they are going to be quite, how do you put it into words? When one thing has nothing to do with the other, it's kind of like I'm struggling to find a word for it. The word is not inconsistent, it is just you're gonna find, for example, one day more busier than the other, and that's why within these next couple of weeks it is very important to go along with the flow rather than to stick with a already defined plan, or kind of like outdated concepts, outdated beliefs as well. Instead, you should align to the situation itself. Instead, you should align to what the environment it is it's presenting to you, and your aims should be to grasp upon every single opportunity that it is coming your way, for there are such that are coming your way, and you will have some choices to make, but none of those choices is going to be either right or either wrong. And therefore you have the luxury here, Taurus, to decide in favor of yourself, or rather like to make the choice that it is either more comfortable for you, or the one that goes within your criteria, the one that goes within your standards or ideals, depending on how you are to look at it. And the last thing that I'm gonna say, it is that within the next couple of weeks, Taurus, many of you guys are going to how can I put it into words, find a new source of attraction, or a new source of, if you want to call it, love here. And that new source is going to come out of a reliability and as well trust. So you're going to, for those who didn't already, are going to learn that lesson, that no matter how much you love something or somebody, if you can't trust the thing or the person, if you cannot rely on them, then that love is for actually nothing. Next one, that is going to be Gemini. All right, so for Gemini, the first card, that is going to be the Five of Cups, followed by the Five of Wands. Moving next, we do have the Three of Cups. Afterwards, that is going to be the Five of Swords. And the last one, that is going to be the Two of Wands. So those 5 cards, we do have a lot of fives into your reading, Gemini, and that pretty much the 5 is the number of stir and of, if you want to call it, change as well. Also the number of travel. And within the next couple of weeks, as a 5 suggests, and not just only as 5 suggests, but as well as the 5 of Wands and the 5 of Swords and also the 5 of Cups, it is that things are going to reshape and move around. So certain expectations are not going to be fulfilled, whether they are bad expectations or good expectations. Just for example, if you are expecting to be demoted at work, that may not happen. However, if you are expecting something good to take place, that also may not happen. So within the next couple of weeks is going to be kind of like very important to stick to what you know to be true, and to follow results rather than to follow hopes, because you may produce results wherever you are not hoping for them, and once you do produce those results, you should follow those results instead of redirecting yourself to another hopeful direction. It's just that is how that reading reads, because the energies which are to support you within the next couple of weeks are the energy of progression. What I mean is that once you do set a foothold into something, whether it is a project, whether it is a person, or some kind of an enterprise, you gotta stick with it instead of spending your energy into a new beginnings. And you are to find yourself, should you do that, it's highly likely that you are to find yourself at the end of this transit having a rather good accomplishments on your behalf, or accomplishing good things on your behalf, and also having an incentive to expand on these accomplishments. And the more you think about it here, the more you are going to start realizing that at the end of the day, what is important is what you can make for yourself, rather than relying on either hope or relying on either help or relying on luck even. And thus, what I am talking here, it is that whenever should a situation arise within the next couple of weeks, the first thing that you are going to think of, it is how that affects you. And is it okay you being a part of it, despite of how this is going to reflect somebody else or other people or other situations as well. And the good thing about these cards is that whatever your choice in that regard is, even if it contradicts the wishes of people that are with you, like friends, like family, they will, how can I put it into words, they're gonna accept it, and they are going to understand, not like accept it, but understand it, and therefore the trust in between you two is not going to be broken. And through it, you will learn as well how far your limit stretches in terms of how much you are allowed to do in one situation or another, within your business, within your career, within your romantic life as well. And finally, here within the next couple of weeks, it is a perfect moment for you, Gemini, to express yourself emotionally toward things or people that you have feelings and they don't know about it. Tracy, thank you so much for your $5. Thank you so much, Tracy. Make sure you do stick around up until the end. And there I'm going to perform you, or you're gonna get your personalized reading for the new moon into Aquarius. All right, and next one, that is going to be Cancer. Liz, thank you so much for your $5 support. Thank you so much, Liz. As with Tracy, make sure you do stick around up until the end, where you are gonna get your personalized reading for the transit, the new moon into Aquarius. Hello, Dawn. Welcome to the stream. All right, so for Cancer, we do have the Ten of Pentacles as a first card, followed by the second one of the Ten of Wands. Moving next, we do have the Lovers, followed by the World, and the final one is going to be the Strength. Dawn, thank you so much for your $10. Thank you so much, Dawn. So you also make sure you do stick around up until the end, where you are going to get your personalized reading for the new moon into Aquarius. Okay, so yeah. Well, for Cancer, this transit is gonna be reminiscent to a transit, or rather like to a period of time of, so to speak, a slog. Things are going to work out, but they're gonna work out by or from your impression, through, say, immense effort that you will have to put into these things. And that is for a the big reason for that is going to be the strive for that everything, it's kind of like wrapped up as well as it can, maybe not realizing that no matter, you know, how much you pour into certain stuff, there is a certain line that cannot be crossed regardless of how much you do invest into it. Just a simple example of that, it is if you want to, I don't know, buy a vanilla ice cream, right? So no matter if you're gonna spend $10 or $100, at the end of the day, vanilla ice cream, it's a vanilla ice cream regardless. Are you eating the expensive one or the cheap one? Another example is something that I had last year, where I had to buy myself a laundry machine, and I have a friend who is working in these really lavish shops, let's say, that are selling laundry machines and microwaves and so on and so forth. And he wanted to give me a deal for a laundry machine of $5,000. Why? What in the world? I mean, a laundry machine for, say, $400 is gonna launder your dresses just as well as the one for 5,000, isn't it? So what is the point of buying this so much more expensive one if at the end of the day, you know, your dresses are going to be clean from one and from the other? It makes no sense. But hey, there are people throwing away their money like that, so it's their choice. That is how the things are gonna stand for you. You can choose you know, the path with less resistance or with the most resistance. Alas, the result literally is going to be the same at the end. So that puts an incentive here for you, not Gemini, but Cancer, to kind of like take it more easy than it should be. That is like a guidance. Otherwise, if you kind of like try to look upon everything, whether it is within your relationship or whether it is within your career, under a magnifying glass, it will feel like you are never up to the expectations, that you always kind of like have to do something more, and just the result doesn't change. and the result doesn't change because it was already set, or rather like it was already set up, and it's just trying to continue upgrading and improving it at least for the next couple of weeks. It's just merely stressful, futile, and literally pointless. That's why, guys, it will be best if you just kind of like I said, take it easy, and not just only that, but also trying to spend as much time as you can in environment that you feel most comfortable at, like spending more time with friends, or if you do enjoy spending your time with yourself, because that is what I like to do. For example, or with books, if you do like to read, is just make yourself as comfortable as possible, because again, according to these cards, no matter how much more than the necessary you throw into, results doesn't change. I love an expression that's we do have in our country. When you go to work, you are at the job, not at the competition, and therefore you do only as much as it is asked from you, nothing more, nothing less, because at the end of the day, you are paid your salary for nothing more or nothing less. And some of you as a Cancer, you may kind of like feel the necessity to be more active than usual, but the energy which are to support you within the next couple of weeks are energies that will allow you to persevere through patience and through so to speak sustenance. And once you do kind of like figure out, say, the recipe for yourself, how things are working out for yourself with the on the path of less resistance, then you are going to obtain the, or rather like take the standpoint that you are on the right track. I don't know how to put it into words other way around. And therefore you will feel no incentive constantly to explain yourself, say, to your boss or to your colleagues or to your friends, even if you will, to the people you love, why you are doing what you are doing. You're doing it because it's the best thing for you to do right now for the maximum results out there, whether those results are in love or whether those results are in career. And so that was the reading for Cancer. And now, guys, we are entering into the first break. And like I said, within those breaks, I'm going to gift you a one free reading, or I'm kind of like I'm going to gift to one person a free reading. And all you got to do is just input your question into the comments down below within the next 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, I'm going to pick one person and perform a professional reading on them here live. And for those who supported the stream and are to support the stream through Super Chat, you're going to get your readings at the end of the live stream regardless. And as well, if you do wish your own personalized reading, guys, you can always go to my website, which is listed in the description of this live stream. And there, the very front page, you're going to see full list of my services, their pricing, and based on your budget and as well your needs, you can go for whichever one suits you best. Hey Debbie, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you are to have a great time around. Three minutes, guys. 3 minutes to input a question if you do have one. You're welcome, Debbie. No worries. All right. So the question that I'm going to answer this time is going to be the one that News Devon submitted, and that is, how does my boss sees me? So let's check it out. And the first card that we do have of it, it's the Three of Wands, catalyzed from one side with the Two of Pentacles. And from the other is going to be the Eight of Wands. So those three cards use. And the view or the impression is not bad. In order to make a better impression, or rather like uplifted impression, I don't know how to put it into words, you might want to work into, how can I put it into words, the flexibility that you do have. What I mean is that if you can show yourself a tiny bit more flexible, that would serve you a great deal of goodness, so to speak. Hey Anna, welcome to the stream. But you are doing a good job. You are, at least according to these cards, your boss sees you as, I would put it that way, as a person that it is exactly at the place that they belong, in a sense of that you are doing as good job as possible, giving the situation and giving the circumstances. That speaks that your boss very well knows what kind of how can I put it into words, what kind of an environment you are into. And by the way, according to these cards, I think that your boss is also planning to give you some additional tasks in the near future, once you are able to, how can I put it into words, to solidify the situations or the projects, the foundations, I'm going to say it that way, the foundations that you are working on right now, like either projects or either clients. They see more potential in you, and they want to see how far you can go, rather like how much you can handle. Okay, so therefore expect more workload in the upcoming few months to come your way as well. And that's why the flexibility is going to be very, very important, that you show that you have flexibility into taking couple of projects at one time, or flexibility of handling certain situation in a different way. Being able to change strategy on a go, it is what I'm talking about here. All right, so that was for the break, and now the next 4 star signs are going to take place, and they are going to be Leo, Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio at the end. Yeah, be flexible, or more, be adaptable. Should be what is the right word here. It's the adaptable. No worries. All right, so for Leo, the first one is, or for Leo, the first one is the Three of Swords, followed by the second card of the Ace of Pentacles, Moving next, we do have the Death card. Afterwards, that is going to be the Nine of Cups. And the last one, that is going to be the Knight of Pentacles, those 5 cards. Not to change, to adaptations. These are 2 different things, okay? So the working strategy can adapt from one thing or another, but the goal doesn't change. Yeah, adaptable. Or rather, like, the structure doesn't change. All right, so for Leo, you guys are going to have somewhat of a patch in the next couple of weeks. There are going to be quite a lot of, I don't know how to put it into words. Maybe I should use that word adaptability here. There are going to be quite of a few aspects that you are to find. It's not even unnecessary. It's the few aspects which are detrimental, literally, not to your progress, not to your well-being, okay, but to your happiness. And therefore, it seems that you will put your efforts into trying to heal that, kind of like live with it for the best of your abilities, but you won't be able to do so with everything around, and therefore whatever you cannot live with, it seems that you will make that executive decision here to just let it go. The reading is very simple and very short for Leo, and pretty much within the next couple of weeks you will refuse to be miserable, and whatever doesn't make you happy, it simply needs to go. That is just as simple as that. And in order to make yourself more happier, you're going to give more credit to non-sporadic patterns and non-sporadic behaviors as well, and thus you can expect to strive to relate yourself with people which are way more consistent than those that you may be used to deal with as clients, for example, as co-workers, business partners, potential intimate partners as well. Instead, your search, or rather like what the universe is going to bring you here, are a people who definitely know what they want and definitely know how they want to get it. And therefore, these are making these people very, very predictable and as well very consistent. And that will be the strive that you are going to show. So should you have a question why things are not working out within, say, your marriage, within, say, your career, or within, say, your happiness, because there are those situations where on the surface you have everything you need, right? You have a family, you have a job, you have finances, you have a home to stay or a car to drive, whatever, and yet you are not feeling quite happy. So that will be within the next couple of weeks. You will realize what makes you unhappy, and the transit is going to be a process of severance with those aspects which are not making you happy, whether it is people, whether it is habits, whether it is a behavior or a patterns that you do have, whatever it is. Thank you, Bree. Thank you so much. So you can expect your life to improve in the next couple of weeks, Leo, but through a surgical removal. So it's gonna be a painful process to a better end. I hope that kind of makes sense. And finally, on a more practical level, the next couple of weeks may bring at your doorsteps an ex that's is just gonna come around, loiter a little bit, you know, just to kind of like recon the environment around you. What you do with this person, it's pretty much entirely up to your disposal. It's up to your decision what you want to make of all that. You just need to know that this time around, unlike previously, that individual kind of like has an idea what they want to pretty much have with you, whether it is a friendship or just to kind of like set the score or try anew. You will be notified straight away, and that will be the basis of what you will decide to make of all that. Just give me a moment here, guys. Hello, Reda. Welcome to the stream, and hopefully you do enjoy and you do enjoy your time here. All right, so that was Leo. Now moving next, we do have Virgo. All right, so for Virgo, the first card is going to be the Wheel of Fortune, followed by the second card of the World. Moving next, we do have that's the Page. Okay, so the Page of Swords. Afterwards, it is the Queen of Pentacles. And the final one, that is going to be the Fool. So we do have those 5 cards. And hold on for a minute here. That's a complicated one for Virgo, especially without having a question. So it's a transit where, how do I put it into words? It's a transit where you should try to stall for as much as you can, and I'm saying that for the lack of better words. Just to give you an example of it, if there is a deal that you have an opportunity to close, like for example a bargain, you want to sell something and you are offered a certain price and you can close the deal within these weeks, those cards are advising you to kind of like postpone it, because there is a very, very big chance that a better deal actually is going to come around. Okay, so it will be important not to rush things to conclusion. That is not just only with deals, but as well with events also. Very trivial of it is, say you split with whomever you are with, whether it is a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and you pretty much consider the whole thing like a done deal, right? And you are never getting back together. Well, that may not be true. In fact, according to these cards, there is it's almost guaranteed that for one or another reason you are gonna cross paths again. Not guaranteed that it's gonna work out, but just do not consider that thing is over. Same thing could be said about things which are not that very pleasant. Okay, say you get rid of a person that you despise and you think that they are gone for good. Well, that doesn't necessarily have to be true, and they may be planning their revenge as well. So whether you think that one thing it's final in the next couple of things, in the next couple of weeks, consider it as one before the final. There will be a continuation to those enterprises and to those aspects, for good or for bad. The strive that you should adopt in the next couple of weeks, Virgo, it's more practical than any other star sign that we read so far. And it should be a standpoint, or rather like the strive of not that much of a learning, but a strive of singularity and uniqueness. What I mean is that you should not go forward with the masses, but instead keep up and stick up to your own original and unique idea, vision, standpoint, view as well. And that way, it seems that you are going to build up something unique for yourself especially as a new beginning. So what is the reason, what is the purpose that this is happening, in a sense of that you cannot reach a closure, or rather like you should not reach a closure? Well, the reason is, and we can see that within the lesson here in the cards of the Queen of Pentacles, that there are potentials out there which are not undefined but unfound at this given moment, at the start of the transit itself. So if you reach a certain conclusion for a deal, for money, you have that card says that you have a potential to go for more money, okay? Or you have a potential to go for a bigger relationship, or for a bigger job, or for a bigger rivalry as well. So it's very important not to consider things done as done for good in the next couple of weeks, but always be ready those situations to be revoked one more time within your life, which is a good thing from a standpoint of a loss, because if you do lose something, you hold on to very tightly. It's kind of like a thing that is there dire to you. Then it means that you haven't lost it at all. But if you want to escape from something, then maybe you did not good that you haven't done that good job into escaping it, at least in the next couple of weeks, which speaks that there will be not much of a change, aside from that you can simply become better into what you are in or what you are doing at this time. So that was for Virgo, a kind of philosophical reading, so to speak. And next one, that is going to be Libra. All right, so for Libra, the first one, it is the Knight of Swords, followed by the second card of the Nine of Pentacles. Moving next, we do have the Sun card, followed by the Four of Pentacles. And the final card we have for you, Libra, that is going to be the Five of Cups. Again, I think we don't have that much of a five. It's just nine and knight that I'm confusing with, rhymes with the five, at least in my mind. So for Libra, the next couple of weeks are going to be weeks of, so to speak, growth and happiness. We can see that within the Sun card, and as well how the Sun card relates to the Knight of Swords. You are going to have some choices to make in the next couple of weeks, Libra. Choices of whom to be with, for example, choices of how to grow your business, for example, or how to tackle with your child, any kind of decisions that are in the boundary of being happy and being unhappy. And the outcome will fall on your choice. And the good thing about these two cards relating with each other is that whenever you are to make a decision, that decision is going to be logically supported, so it's going to be a decision that makes sense, but simultaneously is going to relate to your emotions as well, meaning that it's going to be a choice you made out of wish. And that is a very rare situation, so to speak. It is because we very seldom get to decide in favor of things we think we want, and in the same time it's a thing that is going to work for us the best, right? Bree, thank you so much for your 11 US dollar support. Mwah. Thank you so much, Bree. Make sure you do stick around up until the end of the stream, where you are gonna get your personalized reading for the transit, okay? For the new moon into Aquarius. And one more time, guys, I do apologize for my voice, but it seems that I'm gonna say it right now, from that much talking into live streams and videos, I have developed a chronic laryngitis, I believe, and yeah, I kind of like gotta take it easy when I'm talking, and that is where my sneezing is coming from as well. It's from my kind of like throat through my nose. It's, I don't know, but yeah. In any case, for Libra, do not hesitate whenever you have to decide how to tackle one more time with your beloved one or with your child, to do what you feel is best for you, because this is the uniqueness of your status here. It is that what you feel is best for you is the same time the best for is best for the situation itself. With the Nine of Pentacles, though, into the second position for Libra, that card asks you, it does not put a restriction, but it kind of like asks you to use these couple of weeks, you know, to kind of like I will say it that way, enjoy yourself instead of throwing yourself into a large endeavors. There will be time for those large endeavors, but these couple of weeks into the new moon into Aquarius, according to these cards, are weeks where you need to consolidate what you already have as a family, as a business, or as a relationship, and also address aspects of it that you do find underwhelming or unsatisfiable or a disappointing. And so just address aspects of your marriage or your relationship that you wish to be better. Address aspects of your business that you wish to be better. Okay, and under addressing, I mean look at them objectively and do as you feel is best toward them without having any fear what are to be the consequences, because the consequences seems that are going to be favorable, at least for you, and at the end of the day you will be able to ensure a certain and secure future for yourself. So that was for Libra, and the next one, that is to be Scorpio. All right, so the first one for Scorpio, that will be the Four of Wands, followed by the Three of Wands. Moving next, we do have the Ten of Swords. Afterwards, for Scorpio, that is going to be the Ten of Cups. And the final one, we have the Seven of Pentacles. That is something I did not so common. All right. So for Scorpio, let's talk about what works and what works. No, I don't know how to address the situation. All right, so the next couple of weeks are all about reciprocation in a sense of investing and gaining, so to speak. And the reciprocation is going to be equal. What I mean is that at least for the next couple of weeks, we do have at our sides the energy of that. As much as we invest, that this is just as much as we are going to get from whatever it is toward us. And that is not because it's given, but because of our sense. So whenever we are standing in front of kind of enterprise in the next couple of weeks, we are to sense how much we should give into it, so it pays off to us in the long run. And that creates the incentive, somewhat of a Libra one, where you do things you feel are right for you to do, regardless of the consequences at that given moment. And that brings us to the Ten of Swords, that speaks about the consequences. Okay, and that card, it's a card that draws a line, all right, with the past. It's where you do make a retrospective, you see your moves from the past, you see your stance from the past, you see, for example, how far you went from the past. And we as a Scorpio, we are to make, it's not even a choice, it's not even a move, but let's say a mindset. To set a mindset, some of us may already have it, others may kind of like develop it throughout the next couple of weeks, but we set a mindset how to proceed forward, a mindset that it is not up to a change no matter what. And therefore the downfall, should there be a downfall, is going to be our personal one, as the prospect, should there be prospect, is going to be our personal one. But following patterns, it's not gonna work for us. We have to do something that is unique for us. For this transit here, as per the Four of Wands, it's about our own personal growth, and the lesson is, as the Ten of Cups stands, is for our own personal satisfaction. For if we don't feel satisfied, then why are we doing things we are supposed to do, right? It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, this is a transit for Scorpio, for very important personal cycle of growth here. It's a personal cycle of inner growth, where with the Ten of Swords, it's very, how can I put it into it? That is like passing a threshold of a new era. For example, say you always tried to make other people happy, right? And at some point you do see that while everybody around you are happy, you are not happy. So you kind of like have to make something about it, and you trespass the threshold where from now on moving forward, you are bound to make yourself first and foremost happy, so you can make the other people happy, and that way you are all happy, if that makes any sense. And that's why the next couple of weeks for a Scorpio are going to be a weeks for true transformation. Even if the cards doesn't show a real transformation card, it's just if setting out of established patterns from other people or from other cultures, or for just, code of conducts, and setting our own patterns is not a transformation. I don't know what it is. Okay. So for that reason, it's highly likely that within the next couple of weeks, we can find things that works for us. We can, how can I put it into words? Make peace with a lot of situations. Okay, we can, how can I put it into words? Assimilate stuff that's that beforehand was unfathomable. And they were unfathomable because nobody else accepted them. So it's a transit where we are to become more with ourselves. I don't know how to explain it, but as well, it's very psychological transit for Scorpio. And yeah, we are to break off patterns. That's the best thing that we can see here. And also another thing about Scorpio, it is that within the next couple of weeks, the most challenging way, it's not necessarily the best way. So I appeal to you guys, do things easy, do things the way you like them to be, and whatever it is to happen, it is to happen. Divine Nation, thank you so much for your $1 support. Thank you so much, Divine Nation. Make sure you do stick around up until the end of the stream, and you will have your personalized reading for the new moon into Scorpio. Into Aquarius, I'm sorry. That's new moon into Aquarius. I don't know if the, by the way, guys, we are entering into the second break. And now within this break, as usual, I'm going to gift to one of you a free reading. And all you gotta do to participate into it, just input your question into the comments below. And in about 5 minutes, I'm going to pick one of you and pick one of your questions and perform a professional reading here on the stream. Of course, anyone who supports the channel and me through Super Chat, you can expect your readings at the end of the stream, regardless of are you picked here or not. And finally, if you do wish your own personal reading, you can go to my website, which you're going to find in the description down below. And there at the very front page, you are going to see a full list of my services, their pricing, and based on your budget and as well your needs, you can go for whichever one suits you best. But I was about to say that for Scorpio, it's not necessarily valid for everyone, okay? Because different things make different people happy, right? I know my social circle is very versatile in the sense of that there are different kind of people. In fact, we are all unique in our own way. And I know a person who enjoys being the one who is bossed around. I know a person who enjoys not talking, and just doing things for the sake of doing things. I know a person who loves money and is ready to do everything for money. I know a person who loves drinking and is ready to do everything for drinking. Okay. So doing things to make you happy own have their own value for every single person. And that's why the mentality Scorpio to Scorpio is going to be different for the next couple of weeks. But my point for the reading of Scorpio was that if you don't do the things you believe in the way you like doing them, then I don't know what you are doing, guys. Because in our country, we do have that expression. Every train has its own designated passengers, and eventually, whether your train is empty now or not, eventually is going to kind of like fit its own passenger with time. And all that you have to do is, so that to happen, you just do what you do the best way you can do it, and wait. And it's all we can do. Be yourself. It's my point. Well, if you are trying to do it, Brie, and you are following someone else's patterns, then you can't do it. Right, so Anna Chaban, is there a profitable gains for her in February buying and selling on the stock market? Those are your cards, Anna. We do have a Five of Swords with the World. It's weird. It's weird because you are gonna make a profit, but it's gonna cost you. I don't know what that means. And it's going to be a short-term one. So just because you do make a profit in February, don't encourage yourself that that is how it's gonna be for a lifetime. Okay, in fact, for the whole thing, according to these cards, you're gonna lose more than you are gonna gain from it. So be mindful how you make your money, or how you spend your money into the stock market. Because say you may make a profit in the 10th of February and then lose all of your profit and additional substantial sum at the say 17th of February. So once you make a gain, I advise you to stop. All right, so next one, that is going to be Sagittarius. The first card for Sagittarius, that is going to be the Three of Swords, followed by the second card of the Moon. Moving next, we do have the Queen of Cups. Afterwards, that is going to be the Eight of Cups. And the final one for Sagittarius, we have the Lovers. All right. So it's a transit of acceptance. It's pretty clear by the look of these cards. Okay. Transit where, or a couple of weeks where you just have to, Sagittarius, see that things cannot be ever perfect. And sometimes you just have to make peace with certain aspects that you are not happy of. And once you do make up your peace, things can take off from there. Okay. And I'm not talking about a compromises either. I'm talking about accepting that certain, say, aspects of behavior into somebody, or certain ways in your business or the business that you're working for, or certain friends even, they are not changing, and you just have to move on with it. You either accept it or you don't. And at first, it will feel like the whole thing is ruining everything. When you do realize that these things are not changing whatsoever, you will kind of like start thinking that there is no redeemer here. It's just the whole situation have no redeeming qualities. But actually, the disadvantages, or rather like how do you call it, yeah, those disadvantageous aspects are the aspects with no redeeming quality. What I mean is that they have no relation whatsoever to whatever expectations you do have for the future. Therefore, you can do your work just as good as if those quality weren't there. You can be just as happy with your friend if your friend were the way you want them to be. You can be just as happy into your relationship even if your relationship it is the same way as it is right now. And therefore, you should stop wasting your energy into trying to, it's not even trying to fix, it's more like thinking what would have been if things were different. Well, guess what? They aren't, and they won't be. So make your peace with it, and that's all that you gotta do within the next couple of weeks. That's just what the reading is all about. It is you becoming harmonious with the situation rather than making the situation harmonious to you. That's a big difference into approach of toward one's person, of toward one's business, of toward a one's enterprise in general. And the prospect here is quite of a long term. So whatever you are to establish with that overview, like you get attracted to somebody, but you see that that person ain't perfect. Who is perfect in this world? Nobody. So you do accept that imperfection of them and just go along with your affection, with your attraction, and that gives a potential to solidify a long-term either business partnership, friendship, romantic relationship, and so on and so forth. So your longevity depends on how well you can accept the things as the things are, regardless of how you want them different. Because it doesn't matter, unfortunately guys, it doesn't matter what you want, it matters what it is, and what it is, it's just there to stay. So instead of allowing the negative thoughts of I don't know that English word, but it is literally describes the lack of satisfaction of the current situation, and thoughts where you are pitying yourself that you could have been in a better place. I hope you know what I mean here. Instead of allowing these kind of thoughts to twist and tangle your mind, you should look forward toward the future, for the future holds a much better perspective for as long as you do accept the things exactly as things are. On a more practical level here, you may experience some setbacks in your love life, into your career as well, into your friendships also. Especially friendships, things could get brutal there, in a sense of that you may be addressed with some mental cruelty, insults as well. That's again those addressation or aggression with a negative thoughts. You should just let it pass and move forward, for again the future is much brighter than the current situation. And in regards to the difficulties, those difficulties are just temporary, they are not permanent. And if you do, how can I put it into words, if you do start thinking that whatever you are into, whether it is a business or whether it is a relationship, is falling apart, I think that is going to dodge a bullet, at least within these couple of weeks. And that is because we do have these two cards into the second and the third position. First off, the moon into the second position shows that the events of this couple of weeks are going to be meaningless for the development of the future. You already set a sail and nothing is stopping you. Nothing it can stop you for reaching your destination. And the Queen of Cups into the third position, it pretty much is a testament that what you have is going to be there to stay, regardless of how difficult it may be to sustain it within the next couple of weeks. Anna, thank you so much for your $20 US. Thank you so much, Anna. Make sure you do stick around up until the end, where you're going to get your personalized reading for the transit. All right, next one, that is going to be Capricorn. And your first card, Capricorn, is going to be the Death card, followed by the second one of the Seven of Cups. Moving next, we have the King of Pentacles, followed by the fourth card for you, which is the World. And the final one, that is going to be the Three of Wands. So we do have these 5 cards. And that is the breaking of illusion moment. Literally the breaking of illusion. So for some of you, next couple of weeks could happen to be pretty much a crushing blow. You know, we all have our hopes and our dreams, and suddenly they may come crashing on us, and that may be very much it is to be the thing that happens to you. That is just as much as nightmares though. Okay, so dreams, hopes, nightmares. Some of your nightmares could come and crashing down on you, meaning that they were in vain. But regardless of it is, you will see that the future, the way you saw it, it's not possible, at least in a current state your things are right now. And that's why we do have the Death card into the first place, meaning that you just have to make a change. Either make a change with your love life or with your business life or just with the way you are. It's a change, I don't think, with the way you are, because we do have the Three of Wands into the last position, pointing that whatever patterns you are on, they are pretty much your patterns and you should stick with them. So it's one of the two, or maybe the three, you know, either change into your social circle, into your business life, or into your intimate life. Why not in all three of these? Okay. But because we do have the Seven of Cups into the second position, that is pretty much a card showing there that whatever hopes you have right now, which are very brave, so to speak, also quite unrealistic, and as things are right now, it's just your hopes are impossible to be met. Just to give you an example of it, imagine, I can only think of one example. Okay, imagine you are well, I can think of second, so I'm going to use the more neutral one. Okay, imagine you are qualified in a field of science of, I don't know, building. Okay, so you are building buildings or you are constructing buildings. Okay, and suddenly you have a fascination of a blacksmith, but of blacksmithing, but say you are now in your late 60s, and as painful as it sounds, you just don't have time. So that is a dream that is gonna come crash down on you because you can't become as good as you can on that given age. It is just you spend your life doing something else, and that's totally fine. It's just you have to be objective about it. The other example that I was about to give is, say you are in love with somebody, but you already gave your vows. It's a dream. If you don't change something, obviously your dream can't come true, wherever that dream lays on. Same thing even about the business. You sign up a contract for 10 years, let's say, and now you have a dream to change your career. Well, guess what? You do have a contract, and unless breaking it, meaning changing something, that dream isn't realistic on happening on its own. So it's a sobering period of time, so to speak, realizing that things cannot be the way you want them to be, things, if you do not make a change. Okay, just, and that is a change in the environment, not change within yourself. So you have to let something go and to replace it. It's pretty simple here. Because at the end of the day, guys, we can't have everything, can we? So yeah, that is what you are going to learn, as well as we do have the World card here into the 4th position. Pretty much states that in order to wrap things around, in order to, or rather like in order to have something new, you just have to wrap something old. And wrapping something old, it pretty much means that you will have to stop being in it. And you can't do that in a continuous thing, like, which is job, which is a marriage, for example, which is even friendship, if you will. You just have to let it go if you want something new. But again, the confirmation here is that it is not within your behavior, so you don't have to change yourself in any way, your habits, you know, your approach toward stuff. You just have to, if you do want your wishes to come true, whether those wishes are to become rich, whether those wishes are to be happy, whether those wishes are, I don't know, to be successful, you do have to let something go. And that is what you're going to come up to understand. Do you have the guts to do it, though? Well, that depends entirely on you. All right, so next one, that is going to be Aquarius. For Aquarius, the first one is going to be the 3 of Swords, followed by the second card of the Ace of Pentacles. Moving next, we do have the 7 of Cups, followed by the 8 of Swords. And the last one, that is going to be the Tower for Aquarius. So it's quite of a dynamic. What I mean is that there are going to be many things happening for you, Aquarius, in the next couple of weeks, and none of them, or rather like the majority of them, the majority of them are not going to be aspects or enterprises that you have planned or anticipated. These are going to be events which you have not saw coming. So for some of you or us, if you will, that's, you know, we do have a pretty sustainable environment, you know, and planned life, and in generally settled, we may see it as a crisis. It's literally there, because what do you call unexpected events that are very surprising, and they go completely out of the way of what we are of what we planned for and what we are even prepared for. So it's definitely a moment of crisis within the next couple of weeks, but that crisis does not come out without any positives. Because having the 8 of Swords here into the 4th position, it's a card showing that we can unfold. I don't know how to put it into words, but and I'm gonna say it that way, this crisis that is gonna come our way, and I'm saying our way because I am Aquarius as well, Aquarius rising. It's just is going to open up our limits, or rather, like, yeah, it's going to make us be able to do more stuff, or at least to see that we can do more stuff altogether. It also is gonna open our eyes for certain truths as well. So bite your finger should you be flabbergasted about certain revelation or a certain truth, a truth that comes your way, either for your work or either for your intimate life as well. It could come in any single direction, and those truths are not going to be faced from us with much of a exhilaration, at least not at the start. We can see that with the Three of Swords, where wherever information come our way, it's not gonna be seen as a pleasant one, like I said, at least at the start. But the more we think about it, the more we are to see that that information, it is the true information, and it's better to be aware of our surrounding rather than to live in a blissful ignorance, right? And be made of a fool for everybody around. So just to wrap this thing around here, unfortunately, don't count on that there will be miraculous, say, circumstances that will allow us to make a solid progress. Instead, is going to be a frantic strive for management over the crisis around. We may lose a client out of nowhere, you know, or we may be left alone out of nowhere. Partner that we are with could just, you know, sever the partnership again out of nowhere. So it will be, we have to be prepared for the unexpected. And under prepared, I mean mentally prepared. So expect the unexpected. But alas, wherever it is to happen to us in the next couple of weeks, we are going to get out of it much stronger, because at the end of the day, with those energies we have of the Tower card, they always leads us, or leads you guys, toward a nurturing and cleansing effect upon your life. And even if the business, for example, falls apart and you have to make a new business, or rather like start the business anew, you are going to make it bigger, stronger. You are going to make it more profitable and more lucrative as well. Same thing about relationship. Should you out of the blue being just broke up with, okay, that card here points that your life is going to become better without that person. And not just only that, but should you happen to find somebody else to date in the near future, you can make a stronger relationship with them and more happier as well. So whatever we are to lose, because there are going to be losses, okay, and for some they may look very, very severe. So whatever we are to lose, we have to think it like a blessing in disguise, because it is. All right, so that was for Aquarius, and now last but not least, we do have Pisces. Well, Anna, that is a common mistake. Also, people consider, how do I put it into words? People consider acceptance with lack of character, which is also a big mistake. All right, so for Pisces, the first one, that is going to be the Queen of Swords, followed by the second card for you guys, which is the Eight of Cups. Moving next, we do have the Page of Cups, followed by the Eight of Swords. And the final one for Pisces, that is going to be the Six of Pentacles. Those 5 cards. Okay. So pretty short for Pisces here. Hello, Melda. I am so. Uh, Pretty short for Pisces here. There is going to be a change that is looming on your horizon, guys, and next couple of weeks are weeks of where you are to prepare for that change. Now, on the bright side here, the future that this difference offers you, it will be very uplifting and it will look much better than the past. That change could be change into, for example, structure into the work that you are doing. Like, for example, your boss is to be retired, a boss you hate, and new person is to take their place, which is a person you like. Okay. Such kind of a change I'm talking about. And you are going to start preparing for that thing to come apart, because to come to place or to come to fruition, because once that change takes place, guys, you will have your hands untied. Now, up until this point, if you have lived your life with one hand tied behind your back, now you're gonna have it completely free, and therefore you will be able to do so many more stuff within your social circle, within your career, within your love life as well. And also that change is going to bring to you more, it's not, the word is not self-esteem, it's like a personal incorporation into stuff. So you're not going to depend that much on exterior influences, on exterior circumstances, and as well on exterior people. And whatever that change is to ask from you in the next couple of weeks, it seems that you will be able to push your things through in order to make it happen. Literally, that speaks that within the next couple of weeks, wherever you set a goal, nothing can stop you accomplishing that goal. On a more practical level, next couple of weeks are great for you to readopt some kind of a new diet or a workout plan, to do something about your health or to improve your health, healthy diet, and etc, etc. And also it's a great time for you to find something you love to do, because it's very important that you stay emotionally attached to a thing or to a person. It's just, you need to be emotional. Otherwise, if you are not, it seems that you will become ruthless. It's one of the two. It's either you are emotional next couple of weeks and you are attached to a person or a thing that makes you feel good, or you become ruthless and the only thing that matters is the results. It is your choice how you will decide to spend things. But one more thing before I wrap this thing around for Pisces is that at the end of the day, you are going to realize that you don't need many of the assets you are hoping to have, or many of the people that you are hoping to attract as well. I'm talking about help. You are to see in the next couple of weeks that many of your predicaments you can resolve by yourself, and that will be the better way to do it, because at the end of the day, you will not want to share the spoils of the battle or of the war as well. But alas, for Pisces, should you find yourself in a rough spot right now, rest assured that is to change for the better. And that's gonna wrap it up for the 12 star signs. Now the last free reading is to take place. That is the moment where I am to conduct a free reading to one of you guys. In order to participate into it, all you gotta do is just input a question into the comments below. And after this free reading takes place, I'm going to attend to the super chat reading. So anyone who supports the channel, what I do through super chat is going to get their reading at the end of the live stream regardless. And lastly, if you do wish your own personal reading, you can always go to my website, which you're going to find in the description down below. And there at the very front page, you're going to see a full list of my services, their prices, and based on your budget and as well your needs, you can go for whichever one suits you best. So yeah, I will give you about 4 minutes to put a question, and if there is no questions, I'm just gonna go straight away to the super chat readings. And Anna, kindness is not a weakness, but it can be a weakness. Okay, you based on what you said, you know, people mistaking your kindness for a weakness. It can be a weakness because you cannot be always kind. There is a that's why in the universe there is a balance, and this is how balance work. If you and I will take it from the from a simple perspective. You breathe oxygen and you exhale carbon dioxide. You know, you see, the more oxygen you breathe, the more carbon dioxide you exhale, and that is the same thing with everything. The more kindness you give, unfortunately, the more unkindness you create, because people are going to be dissatisfied no matter what you do. Okay, it is just when you give them more, they always ask for more. And therefore, while it is very good to be kind, you have to place your kindness where that kindness is needed, because if you place it where it is not needed, it only creates a lack of kindness or unkindness. It is just how the universe operates. Good and evil, they go hand to hand. Should there be no evil, you cannot identify what is good anymore. Because there needs to be balance, Brie. If there is no balance, then there is no universe. If there is no balance, there will be no need for forces at all. If the devil doesn't exist, for example, why do you need God, right? Just God loses its relevance. It doesn't matter. For the same thing. If there is no hatred, then why would you need love? If there is no lack of kindness, then why do you need kindness? It's for the same thing. One creates the incentive for the other, and you cannot have one without having the other. But that doesn't mean that you have to be affected by the other. These are two different things. And another simple example of it, take the rich and the poor. In order one to become rich, it has to exploit poor people, otherwise it cannot become rich. It's just that simple. Somebody that produces products sells you that product and takes away money from you, therefore makes you poorer, and they make themselves richer. There is that balance, but not within the value, but within the standing. The more richer people there are, the more poor people there will be. That is the balance. The balance is not equilibrium. These are two different things. Hey, Robin. So do not be surprised that the kinder you are, the worse people treat you. It is because that is what kindness provokes, unfortunately. Don't you notice the people who are jerks are literally, they are having the best of lives out there? You know, people who are jerks, and everybody else treats them in a way that's it's just better than they treat you. That happens, for example, with the mean girl in the school, or the bully in the school. Everybody treats the bully to the best of their abilities. Why? So they don't get bullied. So unkindness provokes kindness from the other side. And that is something we all have to comprehend on. Well, that's also what can happen, yeah. All right, Luna, what does your love life looks like this month? Let's check it out then. Well, that is something Isaac Newton, find out many years ago, decades, centuries ago. It is that every action, whether it is physical or emotional, has equal in response but opposite in direction reaction. So, kindness creates unkindness. It's simple as that. Love creates hatred. Why do you think it's it's very common that when two people love each other, usually their family cannot stand that relationship? It's for the same reason. Well, Luna, uh, those are your cards for your love life into the upcoming month. And it seems a bit uneventful, meaning that the way you are into your love life right now, this is how it's going to remain in the next months. And I was using that word equilibrium, and that is exactly what we have for you here. One thing I want to warn you for the next month, it is that that should you have a choice to make in regards to whom to be with, allow that choice to be made for you, in a sense of that the right choice, the more you postpone the situation, the more the right choice will start becoming pretty much obvious to you. But other than that, Luna, in the next month doesn't look like that you do have many enterprises for a real, how can I put it into words, not progress, but activity, so to speak, in regards to your love life. Should you be single, yeah, there is a incentive here for a person showing up from these two cards, but that person is not going to be very initiative, at least for the next month. So even though they may show some interest, doesn't look like that they're gonna make a much of a, how can I put it into words, much of an action toward that interest toward you. Well, Bree, hatred, it's hatred and anger, they are a very strong source of power. Well, Melda, unfortunately, not really. You can do good, yes, but I don't know how to put it into words. What happens to us is irrelevant, regardless. Are we doing good or not? Yes, I mean, through doing good, we may make friends and open up options available, but for the most part, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, no matter how much good you do, if you fall ill from incurable sickness, what good of it? There is no good of it whatsoever. And when you do good, you're actually sacrificing from your own well-being to make somebody else better. And that often backfires because people forget your goodness when they kind of like reach certain heights and they don't need you anymore. And that's very common. it was done to me, I did it to other people. It is just how the universe operates, because at the end of the day, it is what we have, it's ourselves, and if we don't take care for our own happiness, nobody else is going to, because everybody does things so they can be happy. All right, now moving toward the super chat readings. And first one, Mattia, your transit is going to be Ten of Swords with the Two of Cups. We do have these two cards. And the next couple of weeks for you, Mattia, should be a little bit more solo than usual. You will have to make some personalized choices and decisions for how to move forward for your own sake and for your own well-being, and that should be unaffected by the people that you are involved with, whether it is boyfriend, husband, business partner, colleagues, and so on and so forth. There are some decisions that you will have to make, which probably have been, I don't know, delayed, postponed, whatever. But now the knife is kind of hitting the bone, and you cannot postpone them any longer. What I am saying here is that these 2 weeks are weeks where you have to start thinking of yourself and do things in a way that will benefit you. Because like I said before, there is balance. You sacrifice your benefit for the benefit of somebody else, or you do things to your own benefit, and whatever that benefits, it's out of your hands. But next couple of weeks are going to be weeks where you will have to make some definitive choices, what your future is going to be and what your future is going to play out. And should you find yourself unhappy into your future, is because you have chose in favor of alien happiness than yours. I would say it that way. Tracy, your card, it is the ten of Wands with the Nine of Wands. Those two cards. Maybe, Melda, but that karma may turn to you in few lives from now, so, or 3 or 4 rebirths from now, so, and you wouldn't even know it. It's not like if you steal from somebody, you are gonna get caught. In fact, the richest people probably are the richest people in the world, probably made their fortune unfairly, to say the least. All right, so Tracy, next couple of weeks, very busy weeks, weeks where you can go along with your current performance, or you may look around and make some readjustments. Yeah, it is. Because if you don't have your cup filled, how you are to pour in someone else's cup, right? It doesn't make any sense. Back to Tracy. So because we do have the Nine of Wands with the Ten of Wands, Tracy, while you are to be busy, very busy here, fulfilling up promises, for example, or keeping up with whatever contracts you sign in or whatever situations you throw yourself into, the Nine of Wands interacts with it in such a way that you are to see openings where you can realign yourself to the situation or realign your situation. In other words, make you will be able to make some readaptations, conscious changes in a way how you do things, how you interact with people, how you take on opportunities as well, so you can make yourself much you can make things much easier on yourself. And therefore, the next couple of weeks, at least by the look of these cards, are weeks where you are going to make things smarter rather than harder. You know, look smarter rather than harder. I don't know how to put it into words. Uh, should you be single, Tracy, there could be a person that you are going to start interacting with in the next couple of weeks, but be very mindful what you are throwing yourself into, because by the look of these cards, the situation will be very demanding. Next one is Liz. Liz, your card, it is the King of Pentacles, catalyzed by the Tower card. Okay, so we do have these two, and the transit for you is going to be somewhat very peaceful. These two cards speaks for, should there be any crisis, you will do a really good job into crisis management. In fact, that is, I believe, what is going to take place there, but they are not good. These things may look crisis to others, but not to you. My point is, it is that instead of building up, next couple of weeks are going to be a weeks where you are consolidating your current builds or your current foundations, if you will. So the result of all that is going to be strengthening into your positions at work, into your positions at your marriage, if you do have any, or your relationship, if you do have such. Your friendship circles as well. It is just, you will become stronger where you are right now, with more pronounced presence, more power, and as well more influence. Down M floors 30, your card, the Eight of Wands with the Page of Swords, that is pre-pronounced. The new moon into Aquarius to you is going to give you, or gift you, so to speak, crazy ideas. Okay, so there are going to be a lot of things that you're going to think about and you would want to do, you would want to experience. That may be business ideas, it may be just ideas to do stuff you never done before, and so on and so forth. The problem here for you, Dawn, it is that it seems you ain't gonna find an accomplice. What I mean is that people will not gonna see merit into your ideas, so unfortunately you will have to you will have to proceed with them on your own if you do want to see them through. But because they are unique, you are the only one who can make a manifestation on them. Now, on another hand, should you need any help with your existing endeavors, like help into your projects, like help into your relationship, highly likely that within the next couple of weeks, that help is going to come from many places. It's not just only one person that can help you, it's many people that can help you. And of course, you can use all of them, or you can just make your take your pick which one you want to use to help you with your struggles at that given point. All right, so next one, that is going to be Bree. Bree, your card is the Devil, and is catalyzed by the Four of Swords. So we do have these two cards. And for the next couple of weeks, Bree, the time of contemplation is pretty much over. You have these cards are just a guidance here, saying that you made your plans, your perception, and your analysis as best as it can be made. Okay, there isn't anything more for you to learn about the situation you want to make a progress into. There isn't anything more to plan about it. There isn't anything more to research about it. All you gotta do now is act. But how, right? Well, you gotta act in a way that you are the master, that you do hold the power, that things depend on you, because they do. Things literally depend on you, and you get to decide how you want to move forward. Also, Bree, as we talked about it by now, it's time for you to think about what you lack, in a sense of to fulfill your, let's call them yearnings. So what you lack to fulfill your yearnings. Do you lack money? Maybe you lack hospitality. Maybe you do lack warmth from other people, or maybe you lack attention. Maybe you lack even sex, if you will. Whatever you lack, you can satisfy in the next couple of weeks. Only should you strive for it. It's not going to come on its own, but you have the power to make it happen. Divine Nation, your card, it is the King of Cups with the Four of Wands. And that is pretty simple and pretty short for you, Divine. You are going to be addressed with a proposition for maybe for a reconciliation, not necessarily though intimate one. For example, old boss may ask you to get back on the old job, or an old friend may ask you to repeat the same event one more time, like going with them on their birthday party. It's some kind of an offer that had been offered to you before and is gonna come the same a second time throughout the next couple of weeks as well. And by the way, there is no need for you to reject it whatsoever. Anna, Six of Wands with the Ace of Pentacles for you, Anna. So next couple of weeks are going to be a weeks of really good milestones for you and really good accomplishments. You are going to reap rewards. You are going to have your recognition as well. Promotions also, depending on what you are working on, whom you are with. It is just peaks of experience, which unfortunately none of them is going to matter for your long-term prospect. So these are a short-term, it's a short-term success or successes, plural, okay, that you have to cultivate on them, cash in on them, but do not, how can I put it into words? Do not become dependent on them. That's a very, very important. Other than that, you should be on fire on the next couple of weeks, whether it is a business or whether it is love here. And you definitely should make use of all of it. And that is gonna wrap it up, guys. Thank you so much for being around. Thank you so much for sticking. Thank you so much for your support as well. And we are going to see each other very, very soon. Until then,